Hey guys, welcome back to California Cooking. On this week's episode, I'm checking out a brand new restaurant in Venice, cooking up Nashville hot shrimp, avocado hummus, and more eclectic dishes. Then I'm making breakfast empanadas, the perfect meal on the go. And Mark Kriski is taking us to his favorite pizza joint in town, and he's even getting his hands dirty. First up is a restaurant called Yours Truly on Abbot Kinney. It's only been open a couple of months, but it's already creating quite the buzz. Here's why. Hi, Chef Martin. How are you?
How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Your restaurant is lovely. Yours Truly. What a sweet name, by the way.
It is. It just came about kind of interestingly.
Did it?
But yeah. Everybody had ideas. I had ideas of what I wanted the restaurant to be called. And of course, when it's your idea, it sounds better.
Yeah.
We started an email chain, and eventually I mentioned something like, oh, I really like something along the lines of Sincerely Yours or something like that. And then our other partner here, Paul, was like, what about Yours Truly? When I saw the email, I was like, that's it.
That's it.
It really feels very personal,
Yeah.
for me especially.
The restaurants you worked at before were different. Fine Dining, 71 Above was the last restaurant,
Correct.
which is that restaurant on top of the US Bank building.
Yeah, it's
right?
a dream restaurant.
But a completely different vibe.
I'm used to
How many?
300,
Okay.
350, doing like 4 or 5 courses of like an intense restaurant. So this is more, it's a lot more relaxed. I think it definitely comes across in the food too, so
Yeah.
which is really good. I mean, it's a good sort of place to be. We definitely sort of geared the restaurant to a format where it's very vegetable driven, with lots of seafood, not a lot of meat.
When I looked over the menu and some of the dishes that you're known for already with this restaurant, lots of twists. You
Yeah,
know,
I
it's
enjoy
one
cooking
type of
that way.
cuisine, but then it has a lot of other elements
It's
from other cultures.
that exactly. We do things with food that, you know, some people might be like, why would they do that? But for me, if it tastes good, it tastes good.
What are one of the surprises on the menu where you thought, okay, that's kind of weird, I don't think this will work, and it totally worked?
So there's a dish that's on the menu that it's like a 90-10. There's some dishes that are,
Okay.
most people will love it, but if the ones that hate it, really don't like it. And it's a carrot dish that's got a lot of stuff going on.
Is this the one with the burrata?
Yeah, it's
So
a lot happening in that
Carrots
dish.
and burrata, and I heard an exo sauce.
Exo sauce. Yeah, exo sauce is a traditional Chinese condiment. It's like
Yeah.
the ketchup.
Okay.
It's got dried shrimp, dried, scallops, crab, Chinese sausage, lots going on.
With an Italian burrata.
Correct. There's a hummus dish on the menu that's
Yeah.
made with avocados. There's Japanese ingredients, Middle Eastern ingredients, Mexican
Right.
ingredients, but it all blends together very well.
Yeah. Who inspired you, or what inspired you to become a chef?
I thought I wanted to be a doctor. That was very short-lived. It was not happening. I was really not enjoying school.
Yeah.
I found myself every day sitting through class, planning my shopping list, what I was going to
Really?
cook. The things I did on a George Foreman grill, I'm so proud
And
of.
college kids, that's not normal.
No.
That's not your normal run-of-the-mill college kid.
My
Yeah.
days were consumed with, okay, I'm going to go to the
That's
store,
so
buy this,
funny.
buy that. Then I went to culinary school, and I really, really enjoyed it.
yeah.
I truly, wholeheartedly love what I do. I could work every day.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that I'm a workaholic or I want
Right.
to, but it's very enjoyable.
Chef, I'm excited to try the avocado hummus. And everybody loves a dip. You know, when you sit
it's
down with
exactly.
friends, you
It's
share
very,
a little.
Very shareable.
Yeah.
I have some hummus made already here for you.
In here you have avocado. Do you have the
It's-
garbanzo beans
No,
or
it's just
different beans?
no garbanzo
No beef.
whatsoever. But we make a base where we roast poblanos and jalapenos. Then we have tahini in
You
there.
have tahini, which is in
tahini,
hummus,
the
yeah.
garlic. We also season ours with instead of just salt, it's a combination of white soy sauce, and we use yuzu as the acid. This is a salsa matcha. It's dry peppers that we blend with oil, but it also has a little bit of oregano, cumin seeds.
And has like a smoky.
Correct. From the dried chilies. There's a little bit of vinegar in ours. We
Okay.
also add garlic, a little bit of lime zest. And
Yum.
then ours has sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and primarily it's peanuts.
And then here you have a little bit of dough.
We have dough. This is a very simple sort of flatbread dough that we make here on
Yeah.
a daily basis. As you let it rise,
Yeah.
you sort of stretch it by hand. It's like sort of like a leavened, yeasted dough that when
Okay.
you grill, it puffs up a little bit.
Right.
So we'll start with the hummus. You
Oh,
put a
it's
good,
so creamy.
and this is basically salsa matcha.
Oh, look
It's
at
all
that.
the chilies and everything, and a good amount of peanuts.
See, it's so beautiful because it's so chunky and
Yeah, you want to
Yeah.
bite into sort of all those ingredients. And then for ours, we do a little bit of lime zest.
yeah.
because the floral quality of like fresh lime zest, I can't replicate with the acid. And then we have cilantro, fresh picked leaves that we've shot. So we'll start with just like a little section.
Use everything, right?
Why not?
Yeah.
And then we'll put a little bit of the flowers. And that's it. And then I'll go grab our bread. So this is our flat bread I grilled. Gonna brush it again with olive oil. The dough is already seasoned well enough where we don't add salt, but this is za'atar. The main combination is sumac and thyme. Our version has oregano, a little bit of cumin, coriander, and 2 types of sesame seeds. Then we fresh grate lemon zest on it every day to sort of wake up the acidity, the acidic flavor of sumac. And then we'll basically do a generous amount of this.
Oh my gosh, that smells so good. Those spices.
And that's it.
I'm so excited to taste the avocado.
Tear into it.
Tear into it.
Yeah.
I got the avocado hummus, the salsa matcha on the bread.
It's like an impactful amount of flavor coming together.
It's so true because even the bread alone is delicious.
Yeah, but it's just your mind is like traveling, your palate is traveling. It's really.
But what's interesting too is the salsa matcha. You know, I had in Mexico, so I associate Mexican flavors, but this has a very Asian influence.
And then you're dipping it in with a very, very Middle Eastern bread.
Middle Eastern bread, but it works.
It does.
That's delicious.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yum.
Once we drop the shrimp, then we have milk bread, Japanese milk bread, which is a little bit sweeter.
And what is Japanese milk bread?
It's similar to like a French brioche.
Okay.
It's, you know, sweeter milk, like I don't know, like Parker House roll. It's like a cross. So we take ours, we trim it, and then we toast it a little bit.
And is this to soak up some of the spice, or if your mouth's on fire?
Exactly. You want to be able to take a break at some point. And as that's working, our shrimp is also in the fryer. A little slaw that we serve with it.
And I see cabbage, white, purple.
Correct. There's a little bit of radicchio in there. There's fennel. Generally, if we have things that we need to mix into it, we will. This is the vinaigrette made with like the juice left over from pickles. We add mustard, garlic, and then we have pickled mustard seeds that we'll actually add to it.
So this is really tangy.
Yeah. And our shrimp is ready. The shrimp comes out, and it's important while it's still hot. This is our hot oil. It's the chili. We took about 7-8 runs to actually get to the flavor profile that we like most.
Okay.
So it's spicy, but it definitely will not.
So it's a chili oil.
Pretty much, yeah. It's got brown sugar in there. I mean, there's a lot. And you want to put a good amount in. It's meant to be spicy. And then this is the same seasoning blend that we use to make the oil. We actually made a seasoned salt with it. And our lightly toasted bread, just to warm up a little bit, then goes into our salad. And again, it's going to be a juicy pile.
Yeah.
So then the shrimp is nicely coated in the oil. We'll start building the dish out. We have to put it a certain way because I feel like it displays the shrimp correctly.
I get it.
And then we'll finish with a little bit more of the oil.
That is a beauty.
And that's it.
How should I do it? Should I put a little slaw on the...
I would just grab the shrimp, bite into it, and if you really need the slaw, you can have some slaw.
Perfectly crunchy. Very shrimpy.
Very shrimpy. That's important, or else it'll be lost. You'll be eating just breaded spice and it won't really work. You want there to be a little bit of a balance in the dish because not everybody wants to eat a very heavily spiced dish, but the acidity and the brightness of the slaw makes everything come together so well.
I love these two together. It's so briny. Oh, wow.
And it's like kind of, I don't want to say sloppy, but it's definitely heavily dressed for a reason.
It is.
You want it to be juicy.
I said, if you're on a date, somebody's fighting over this third shrimp. Chef Barton is such a delight. He makes you feel like you're at his home when you're eating there, and the way he combines these flavors really makes for some interesting dishes. To see me taste a few other amazing must-haves on the menu, and for the avocado hummus recipe, go to ktla.com. Coming up, Mark Kriski says it is the best New York-style pizza in town. Find out where it is. Then I'm making a tuna melt, but not tuna from the can, and we'll see if Levi likes it. But first, it's the perfect thing to grab as you head out the door to work or school. I'm making breakfast empanadas, coming up next. I know breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but when you get bored with the usual, why not try a breakfast empanada? Take a look. things for me during the week is breakfast. I run out the door in the morning and I never bring anything with me to work, and we have nothing at work except bagels, which you can only do so often. And at some point, I've got to start prepping my breakfast. And I was thinking that something I could put in the freezer or the fridge and just grab as I go in the morning and then heat up later is probably the way to go. The breakfast empanada idea came to me because I was looking on Pinterest and I was seeing all these different ideas when it comes to breakfast in a little pocket. So whether it be biscuit dough, I bought pie dough. I would never attempt to make it myself, just buy it. And then if you cut it out, put some scrambled eggs, whatever you like, in the middle, bake them, then you can pop them in the freezer and take them to work. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. I love pie dough that you buy from the store. It is perfectly great. So what we're gonna do is, you could roll it out, but this is pretty perfect. I put a little bit of flour on the board so it doesn't stick. So we're gonna use a bowl as a template, and you want it to be big enough because you picture it's gonna be folded over. So you're really gonna only have half this size. So this is a pretty good sized bowl, and I'm going to trace around it to get these rounds. And just go around. Oh, let's see how you go. Perfect. Let me just set that there for now. Let's try to squeeze out as many as you can. I think we could get 3. Now, we're gonna fill these with some scrambled eggs, bacon, whatever you like. I would say whatever you like in an omelet, or whatever you like as far as toppings go with your eggs, you could add to these empanadas. Although, I wouldn't add something that has water content, like tomatoes or mushrooms, because the water would seep out when you bake these, and then your pastry wouldn't get nice and brown and crisp. So I would pick ingredients that are on the dry side. Okay, so we're gonna clean up, then we're gonna go make some scrambled eggs. I'll show you how to do it. Now for the scrambled eggs. So the key to scrambled eggs, I think, is low and slow, very gentle with your scrambled eggs, because otherwise they get tough and dry. So I've got some butter melting, let's say a tablespoon, in a non-stick skillet, and we're gonna crack some eggs. And probably do about 6. Maybe 1 for good measure, so 7. What I'm gonna do first, I really like adding a little bit of green onion into the pan. I have 2 scallions, green onion, whatever you wanna call them. I'm gonna just brown these a little bit, and they give the eggs so much flavor because they're gonna be in this pie pastry. So you wanna add a little bit of flavor to your eggs. Scramble our eggs. A lot of people add half and half water. I'm not gonna add anything. Okay, I turned my heat down. I browned my green onions. Turn my heat down to low, and I'm gonna add my scrambled eggs. Oh, a little bit of salt. I'm gonna add it to the onion as opposed to the egg. A little bit, and then in goes our egg. Beautiful. And then you're just really gentle. Just kind of a little bit of pepper. And I'm gonna scramble them on the soft side because they're also gonna cook in the oven in the pastry for a little bit, so they'll cook even more. So I don't wanna overdo the eggs, but obviously you don't want them to be runny, so gotta get it in the sweet spot there. So we're gonna fill our breakfast empanadas. We have our scrambled eggs and a little bit of crumbled bacon, some cheddar cheese, and some cream cheese. So for the first one, I'm gonna just do a little bit of cream cheese at the bottom because it will melt. So I think you wanna err on the side of caution with the cream cheese. And then we'll put our egg on top. And you wanna do it to one side because you're gonna fold it over. And you don't want it to squeeze out because the temptation is to overfill. So I'm gonna stop right there. See how we do. And then we'll bring it over. You got a little bit of a, and if you get a little bit of a hole, just close it back together. Perfect. This one is borderline too full, but you get the idea. So you're just gonna fill them and then crimp the edges. I have oven set at 375. These will probably cook 10 to 12 minutes. I would check them after 10. They just need to be golden brown, everything on the inside already cooked. Empanadas going in. and we'll check them in 10. My empanadas are done. They don't look the prettiest. I have to be honest, these are not the most beautiful empanadas I've seen, and I think because I didn't chill my dough properly before making them. But as long as they're delicious, I'm happy. I think this goes back to me being a terrible baker, even though I didn't technically bake anything. Whenever I bake, it's not the prettiest. Let's taste our pastry. Flaky pie dough. This one's the cream cheese. And you know what? The cream cheese didn't melt. It stayed really nice. This would be such an easy thing to have in the fridge, in the freezer, heat them up, and take them to go. Those empanadas, so good, so easy to make, and you can fill them with anything you like. Coming up, there's one pizza joint Mark Kriski cannot get enough of, and he'll take us there. Plus, if you're like me, I love a tuna melt. But what if we use fresh tuna instead of canned? We'll see if Levi likes it. On to our favorite topic, pizza. Mark Kriski takes us to a pizza place where many famous faces visit.
Hey, Jessica, a little while ago, Mark Mester, a New York kid, did a story about deep dish pizza. No. You got to do it New York style, thin crust, and the best Mulberry Street pizza. Let's go inside, and I'll show you what pizza's all about. Richie! Hey, how you doing?
Nice to see you, buddy.
Good
How
to
are
see
you?
you. All right. Here we are.
Here we are.
Look at this. I mean, come on.
This
Everybody's
is it.
been here.
Don't
yeah.
get any bigger than this.
You got fighters. You got the stuff. Mickey Rourke. Look at that one.
My man, my dear friend Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney, I
Poor
love
baby's
him.
gone.
Okay, look. These people all eat at Mulberry Street Pizza.
Yep.
It all started with your mother. Your love of cooking and her love.
Good old mom. Yeah, well, you know, we lived in the Bronx, and she loved to cook. My sauce is her sauce.
Then in New York, you owned a steakhouse and a club. But all of a sudden, you decided, I need a break. You took vacation. Who right across the street is a good pal, Giuseppe, who was an actor.
I was actually on my way to Hawaii, and I stopped to see Giuseppe and fell in love with the weather, and the city's great. I love it. 30 years later, here we are.
And you said you're going to bring New York-style pizza,
Real New York pizza.
real New York pizza to Los
Yes,
Angeles.
there was none, there is none except mine.
We walk down, every poster, every picture is signed. They're all here. You're friends with Sylvester Stallone.
Sly's one of my best friends.
Okay, what does he order on his pizza?
Plain cheese, but being Rocky, he doesn't eat a lot of pizza, so he'll come in and wipe me out of meatballs. So if him and Arnold come in together, I'm out of meatballs. Manny Pacquiao comes in, he gave me his belt that he won. Offset comes in all the time. Cardi comes, but she gets overwhelmed with people, and we bring her pizza in the SUV. It's always a movie star somewhere around.
Let's see how the magic is made.
JC's been with me for about 15 years. What we do, we
Spreads it
put a
out.
little cornmeal down here first, so it slides off then you spread it out. You gonna make one after
I'm
this?
going to try and make one too.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Okay, what's the secret? Here, let me.
Fingers out.
Okay, yeah. Spread it out. Okay.
Just spin it.
Look out, everyone. Here we go.
Yo!
Whoa, hey! I've got a job.
Whoa!
Oh, see?
You had a job.
I just lost the job.
One size only.
Large.
If you don't want large, you
Look
go
at that.
somewhere else.
Look at that.
Sauce made twice a day, fresh.
Lots
We
of cheese.
slice it. Most places don't slice it, but I find it just, to me, comes out more evenly and cooks
Wow,
better.
there's no shortage of cheese either.
No.
And what are you
Somebody will know.
throwing on that?
That's the secret.
Goes in the oven for how long? At what temperature?
We cook them hot, like about 650, 675.
Wow.
Take about 7-8 minutes.
JC. Here it is. Now this is the way purists like it, right?
This is the only way I eat it, really.
Okay, with cheese. All right, now I am notoriously known for using a knife and fork for everything. With knife and fork, but I'm
get
not.
out of here.
No.
All right. No, never mind.
Now, do you like folding it in half?
Of course.
Yeah, there we
Come
go.
on, Mark.
Here we go. Oh my God. Home run.
See the way I
every
do, I
time.
rip a little off the back.
And look at the bottom of the crust. Perfect. Richie.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay, Jessica, there it is. Thin crust New York style pizza from Mulberry Street Pizza. They've got multiple locations. It's got to be New York style thin crust or forget about it.
Mark, yum, that looks so good. And your pizza making skills, not bad. Now for Levi Likes It. I love a good tuna melt, but what if we switched out canned tuna for fresh tuna with homemade tartar sauce? We'll see if he likes it. It's a tuna melt.
I don't want cheese.
Okay, you can pull the cheese out. Okay, will you give it a try? It's got sauce on it. You love sauce.
It's too big for my mouth. It won't fit in my mouth.
1, 2. Levi, what do you think?
Yummy.
You like it?
Yeah,
Yes! What do you think of the sauce?
a little yummy.
Will you take another bite?
Yes, like this.
Yeah. Yum. Yay, he liked it. To get my recipe for my tuna melt, go to ktla.com. That's it for us, and if you want to hear more of my conversation with Chef Vartan and how he fell in love with cooking, check out our California Cooking podcast. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Look out, everyone. Here we go.
Yo!
Whoa, hey. I've got a job.
Whoa!
Oh, see.
You had a job.
I just lost the job.
Bored with the breakfast usuals? No? What, regular? A fly? It's fly season. Maybe it's me. Maybe they follow me. Check out our podcast, California Cooking. That's it for no.
And
No.
he fell in love with cooking.
With cooking. I can't. Okay.